Instagram consumes us. Our interactions, surroundings, and everything in between can now be captured and shared with almost no limits. Posting a photo has taken huge importance, and now people will do almost anything to get more likes and followers. Social media is on the rise and is causing a shift within the art industry. As museums are reacting to this shift, Instagram feeds are filling up with pictures and videos of art and aesthetic environments. The recent rise of small pop-up art galleries and exhibits, such as the Museum of Ice Cream, Art Tech House, The Happy Place, 29 Rooms, Candytopia, and collaborations between pop culture and museums, are promoting a significant change in the dynamic of how audiences experience them. Social media has opened the door to a new wave of art, one that incorporates technology and the audience themselves. These styles and motifs have been integrated into the professional museum culture to grab in new demographics, specifically millennials and a younger population.
But I do think, just based on the works of art that we have on view today at the BMA, we are shifting toward more visually compelling, Instagrammable exhibitions.
In the history of art, the work of art is now a social object. In the future, I predict that the digitization of the work of art will completely change the physical object and dematerialize it and turn it into a social object, completely defined by the conversation happening around it rather than the experience itself.
Through social media campaigns and their use of interactive, technology-based exhibits, many of the most traditional museums are changing their approach. In the digital age, museums are forced to react to diverging audiences. Each museum has a different way of reaching these new audiences, but digital connections are a rising strategy. A museum is able to show their content online, on an Instagram account, and then push new viewers to come see the artwork. Museums have a history of being institutions catering to the elite class, historically a white or educated population. Now that virtually everyone is represented online, new visitors can be opened up to the world of art and museums to come and to experience it for themselves.
And so social media, in a way, has started to tear that down a little bit and start democratizing it and making it more accessible. So if someone goes in and takes a picture and they share it with all their friends, now all their friends are seeing this work that they may not have seen before because they couldn't go to the museum.
Photography and social media has been attributed as a clear asset for museums' viewership, as more people are aware of the popular art exhibits around them. However, this additionally highlights growing concerns over copyright and an audience's interaction with the art.
So there are some artists who hate it and they don't want people taking pictures of their stuff, and they want only curators to be interpreting their work, and they don't want their stuff out. They don't want anyone to have access to it. And then there's other artists, many of whom are younger and who are working now today, who love it, and they are actually using social media to promote their work, and they're trying to get it out there as much as they can.
The rise of pop-up museums and temporary experience-based exhibits has increased in popularity as for-profit businesses want to capitalize off of the changing art scene.
Social media brings in numbers, and ultimately we want people to see the works of art, and if that gets them in the door, I think it's a good thing. But we will always have the paintings and sculptures and, the traditional works of art, more formal, fine works of art that people traditionally associate with museums.
Those looking for interesting backgrounds for their Instagram pages flock to such locations and popular museums. Yet the prevalence of photography within museums and their spin-offs has risen doubt within the art community as to whether audiences are actually understanding the art.
And I think that this is a really interesting time in art because people are kind of trying to define what these experiences are and what they mean to people and whether that will be a lasting experience too.
They're bringing in money. They have a bottom line that they need to make, and the reason people come is to take selfies, and so everything is organized around that.
So in the pre-digital photography era, the message was, this is what I'm seeing, I have seen. And today the message is, I was there. I came, I saw, and I selfied.
Through the screen of a phone, Instagram and other forms of social media can portray a person's trip to a museum as aesthetically pleasing and fun. Yet for those who choose to visit art galleries for the photos, the art community is split. Many skeptics question that audiences are too consumed by photo ops to make any connection to the art at all, while those in favor argue that photography furthers a person's interaction with the art.
But the Kusama show, which came through the Hirshhorn a couple of years ago and is now traveling around the country, that is one of the biggest museum exhibitions in the world right now. You're standing in line for 15 minutes and then you go into the room and the door opens and closes behind you, and usually you get about 10 seconds because they really need to get people in and out of there. And so you're staring into this like endless horizon of mirrors and dots and lights, and it's like this very meditative and peaceful moment. And then the door opens and you have to get out of there. And like, if you want to take a photo of yourself in there, which many people want to do, you have 10 seconds to like get that photo. And you'll spend your whole 10 seconds getting the photo, and then you won't actually really experience it.
Many new visitors of the museums are content with just getting their photos, rather than fully comprehending the context and meaning behind the art. This complacency is something the artists themselves must consider when creating their art.
There are definitely trends. I see, people obviously being kind of influenced by others, and then that style is kind of transferred to other artists. But then once you see it everywhere, and once you see enough people doing the same style of art, you start to realize like, oh, it's not really unique anymore. And so it kind of devalues it.
As seen through museums, Instagram has allowed artists to reach a wider audience and convey their message further. However, by sharing their art online, artists take major risks. They can be subject to non-credited artwork or blatant plagiarism.
Social media has definitely changed my business model, but really it's, I think, my social media that keeps people current, and it's my way of reaching out to people to let them know that I have something new.
We know for certain the art industry is changing, but our use of technology can preserve the valued traditional and historical significance of art, or take us in the direction of a more inclusive, less evident meaning of art. Moving forward, artists, audiences, and museums must discuss how such implications are a result of the changing times and their own willingness to accept or refute these changes and focus on the bigger picture.